Hello, hello. Today, we're going to go look at a private collection. I happened to run into the owner of Desert View RV Park in Sierra County at a car show. I've seen his little hidey hole field around with a bunch of projects going on, and I had to ask him about it. And he invited me to come look at it. Between them and I, we've been so super busy, it's been over a year since we had that conversation. Luckily, now it's coming to fruition. So let's go see what they got going on at their little hot rod shop. Ben? Small block. It's a nice little rat rod. Almost a seat in there. Oh, the rest in the back. Oh, even the fuel tank. They're ready to go. That thing looks brand new. Yeah, it's a pretty cool little rat rod. I could dig it. I don't know what's on. That looks like a Mustang over there. Must be Ben.
I remember you from the car show.
Yeah, I know we had talked about it then. What's going on here? Custom camouflage job?
You know, I don't know much about this one here. This is before Ben also, and I'm not sure if that's Steve's or his brother, Gary.
Oh, they both got cars here?
Yeah, well, this one here, I know this Jeep is his brother Gary's. But I think that's Steve. Yeah, this has got the 304 in it. I don't know what Gary wants to do.
Custom back windows?
Absolutely. I guess it's a Land Cruiser, huh?
Is that what it is?
I think so. I think it's a Toyota Land Cruiser, I think. Maybe not, I could be wrong. Maybe it's a Willys. Maybe it's a Willys.
This is definitely one I don't recognize or know of. It's a Willys. Hey, I'm not a professional at this by any means. That's why I'm just starting out, you know what I mean?
But I mean, it looks kind of like a cool rig, you know. Somebody has as a all-purpose, you know. It's got the recovery winch on it. It's got the tow bar, you know.
Is that a hand winch?
Yeah, I'm not really. I never really looked at it too much. Now it looks like it.
It's basically. Oh, that's a brake right there.
Brake. I don't know how.
Oh, it probably doesn't. I don't think it's connected to anything.
No, yeah, not anymore. But at one point in time, yeah.
That's the Hopes and Dreams recovery winch.
Maybe so.
Hopes and Dreams, you never get caught with needing it.
Ordnance cart, I guess, you know, that we use for our body cart. I think.
Oh yeah, that would be really good for that.
Bomb cart, you know, from the military and everything.
Yeah, no,
that's.
That
up in an auction, but with a few
I
pallets on it like that, man, it works great for like taking off
a bed
or
yeah, I could see it.
Oh, yeah.
F-250, you know, I have a. Looks like it's about that same year time.
Yeah, and this old girl wouldn't be too bad, but it's just kind of like, you know, you got the flatbed deal going on there, so.
Small block headers. It's almost all there. That'd make a nice little patina build, really, because it's not really dented a little bit here.
Got a little bit of love on it on the fenders and stuff, but not, you know, it's not rubbed too hard. Somebody tried to re-rub it a little bit right there, but didn't do a real great job.
I was gonna say, it looks like it might be a little Bondo right there.
That is a that's a good picture. You should take that and post that and say this is what not to do with Bondo right there. You know?
If you can tell there's Bondo under the paint, you know you're in bad shape.
Of course, it gives it that look, you know. If you're going for that patina beat up truck look, it's got it.
Yeah.
Farm truck, baby, right here. Farm truck too.
I always like the old Chevys
too.
too.
Do you actually have like a YouTube channel? Or?
Yes, sir. I've been doing it for a while now. We just do automotive stuff, all kinds of automotive stuff. We work on everything.
Wow. Okay.
Is this truck from around here?
It is actually. This
really? I didn't think it would be.
This truck is a family truck that's been around here for like 3 generations.
Well, that's shocking because we don't usually rust around here.
It's got some rust on it, yeah, which is kind of like a little bit
weird.
You know, these
it's not bad though.
Always,
the bottom, the quarters and the rockers is about it. It looks like because the bed looks nice.
You know why they always rust on this side? The worst.
The gas cap starts.
Well, everything on the gas tank and everything
leaking.
is it's the gas tank and everything is closer to the driver's side.
Okay.
So you can get over and clean the pocket out on the passenger side.
I get it.
You can't clean down in the pocket and really get in there and clean it up, you know. So that's why it always ends up rusting out worse, usually on the driver's side. So
I had no idea.
All that crud down in there, and then you get a little bit of water and moisture up in there, and then it just is a recipe for body cancer, you know, for rusting out. So
somebody upgraded parts of this.
Yeah, it's had a couple motors and things, you know, from what Steve heard, you know, from what we'd heard about them. Came with a bullet.
Because it's got your steering shock on there.
It's got a bullet hole through the hood, you know. It comes complete with everything, you know. So.
Hey, that's just the way they come in the field when you start finding them around here.
Right. I don't know too much about that, like I said, but I mean, it's a good old truck, you know, and you can always tell that, you know, that they fill themselves after a while.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you know, you just let it just start filling itself with rocks, and eventually, you know, you're almost there with Bondos.
You know, you know how many people would kill for a truck like this, even with the rust? Like, that's minimal rust.
And you
in
know,
some
and
parts of the
the funny
country.
thing is that this truck makes a liar out of me, because this passenger side is actually a lot worse
saw
than that
that.
side. But probably because this thing's been around so long, I wouldn't doubt that that
Been
rocker,
repaired already once?
Yeah, has already been repaired.
Because I don't think they had. That looks like it's almost got a little bit of flake in the paint.
Absolutely. It's been painted and all. It's got newer interior from the 80s, you know, the split 40/60s or whatever they are, you know. So
I do like
I had
like
a
a
truck
bench
that
seat.
had that exact same interior, and it was red just like that too.
I do like the bench seat. I think it's one of the cool things. I don't know why everybody wants to go to a bucket seat.
Well, you know, bucket seats and consoles are cool, you know. I mean, but if you really wanted to have that grab sensation, you know, if you really just want to in a pickup truck like with a bench seat, you know, yeah, that's just the way they used to come. That's old school, you know.
Oh, it's
have your
got tinted
girl or your
windows.
wife, you know, next to you, your girlfriend or your wife, and suck her up next to you there. Go to the drive-in movies or whatever. I mean, that's, you know, hey.
I
Go hunting, go
noticed
fishing.
that one was the 3-pedal. This is only the 2-pedal.
Yes, sir. That's a standard. And this one's automatic. This is
Ooh.
actually Steve's
Probably a turbo 350.
turbo 350, brand new. He just had it done. It's got a 350 engine in it, and as you can see, the interior's all done. This thing basically just needs some body work and a paint job, and it's not really doesn't need too much body work. It's just,
Yeah,
you know, the
that's another
cosmetics
good
of it all,
patina
but
build.
It's really it's as it sits. This thing is a very solid truck. It drives, it hauls balls, man, and it
I
drives
see it's
very
got
well.
I'd see it's got the
Used to have-
mirrored
yeah.
adapter on it.
Used to have those big old ostentatious mirrors on it, and he wanted some smaller ones on it, so we put those on it. So.
I get it.
You know, this thing I believe originally came from Colorado. This truck did. So,
Gotcha.
And
That's
that can
surprising.
account for a little bit more of the rust on the thing. And,
Yeah.
You know, and it had a block heater. It's still hanging down right there, you know. So it's cold weather for sure. Set up for cold weather.
Still the 4-wheel drive though.
Right.
This is obviously 2.
And this is a cool truck, and I'll tell you why. It's because this thing was from Ed Black's. And as you go see on the back bumper, go take a picture of the back bumper. It's actually from Ed. Well, I don't know. Somebody had to carve it on in there. They worked on it
8/15,
apparently in
2008, 18, I guess.
18, yeah. But that's really, to me, that's the coolest part about this truck is just that bumper right there. Ed Black Chevrolet, you know.
Oh, Albuquerque,
Anybody
New
that
Mexico.
knows Ed Black Chevrolet and knows Albuquerque, New Mexico, that was,
I do not know it.
you know, a long time ago. That dealership was a long time ago. But
Well,
it was
this is-
around for a long time too, so.
It's been lowered.
Yeah, it's had some things done to it. I don't really know too much. He got this thing, I don't know if they got it at an auction or if he bought it from somebody, but it's had a few things done. It's got a 350 and an automatic in it.
Oh, it's got the Bluetooth floorboards here.
It used to be a standard, so we got a little floater pedal. That
Oh,
never
okay, I
came
see
out,
it.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and a little cover over your transmission tunnel.
Yeah, and you can, you know, almost Fred Flintstone it through the floorboard there. So.
Right, right.
She's needing some help when it comes to all that, but it does run.
Hey, I'm not a sheet metal guy myself.
It does run and drive well. I kind of do all of it. But
I don't know a
I'm
lot
better
about
at
sheet metal
I'm
work.
better at some of it than others for sure, but you know, we can do a little bit of all of it, you know. All around jack of all trades, master of none.
You know, have you ever heard the whole saying? You know, that's only half of it, right?
No.
It actually goes jack of all trades, master of none, but still better than a master of one. That's actually the whole saying.
Oh, really? Okay, well, I'll take that. That's pretty cool.
What is this, Pontiac?
This is a old Pontiac GTO. I think it's like a 68, maybe. I'm not real good with Pontiacs, but it does have a 428 under the hood.
Oh, so it's the
If
big
anybody
block.
knows 428 Pontiacs are a little hard to come by.
Is it numbers matching then, or is it just...
No, it's not a 428 car
aftermarket?
originally. The only 428, I believe, GTOs that came out were done aftermarket from a dealership. It's almost like a Yanko Camaro, you know? And it
Oh,
was-
yeah.
I think they were called Blue Demons or something like that, or Demon, or I don't recall. Blue Royal maybe, something like that.
Yeah, like the Yanko or even
Royal
like
Blue or
more modern would be Hennessy does that kind of stuff.
True, right? Yeah, or Bosch or Roush or any of that kind of, you know. But the sub, you know, it wasn't ever done as a Pontiac car with a 428 in it. It was always done as an additional, you know, field modification, whatever you want to call it, dealership modification.
This one might take a little work to get going though.
Yeah, she's a little hurting. She's seen better days.
Always gotta love the square bodies.
Square body, yeah.
Traditional hood dent.
Yeah, those things were just, you know, absolutely the most horrible hoods ever. You know, they had too much spring and not enough hood. And they always ended up creasing like that.
And if you didn't keep them greased and oiled, they did that every time.
Well, and they'd almost do that anyway. They just kind of, like I said, they just had too much spring and not enough hood.
Like you got your level rack, right? Because you can't put a gun in there no more.
Right. Well, I've got one. Actually, it already left us, but somebody had used that. No kidding. They're steel, so they're magnetic. They had their speakers hanging up off of that by the magnets, and I just had to compliment to myself that is about the best redneck engineering I've ever seen.
Long bed Fred, two-wheel drive.
Yeah, it'd probably be gone already if it was a little shorty, you know, if it was a short bed. But
a lot of people are converting them nowadays.
It's not really all that bad. It's, I mean, in pretty damn good shape as far as the body, and there's some dents and dings, but it's
no real rust though, just surface.
No, it's in pretty good shape. I mean, it belonged to a Grateful Dead fan, so it's a good truck, you know.
Right.
You got to
keep on trucking.
You got your unleaded
dual tanks.
Death right here, you know. You got your death sticker right there, so it tells you.
Dual tanks. Because I think I saw one on the other side too.
That with the old rocker panel switch.
This is also converted, or is it on the column?
Right hand, left hand fuel tank. My dad had one just like this.
So is this converted?
79, isn't it? To what?
It looks like it's got 3 pedals, or is it on the column?
It must be converted, or it's on column. It must be column. I don't look converted. It must be like 3 on the tree or something.
You know, I can drive a stick. I've never driven a column shift.
Let's see here.
I should have brought some water. That's the problem with these GoPros, they get hot. That looks like an automatic, dude.
That looks like an automatic to me. But I still have some clutch, so that's kind of, that's kind of weird.
Watch it be push button or something.
I don't know, but we're gonna
back away slowly.
We're gonna back away slowly on that one and go, okay, we're not too sure.
There's another GTO?
This is another GTO that someone had, I think, aspirations of making a drag car out of. They had put a cage in it. And
oh, does it have a cage now? It does have a cage.
Done something and tried to think about how they were going to put the rear end underneath the thing, but if you
oh, that's a trucker end, isn't it?
If you look underneath it, it's not really hooked on.
Oh no,
good.
it's a car.
It's not really hooked on too good. Look at the back, how they welded the springs to the frame. That's not how we do things.
They tried to put a leaf spring under a coil car.
Yeah, it's just wrong. It's totally wrong.
The metric car, you can't put leaf springs.
Girl, I mean, you know, could you get any better?
Custom diamond plate bed.
Diamond plate, you could almost step through, you know?
Right.
Awesome. I had a Chevy pickup truck.
Oh, this is the big boy though. It's the heavy 3/4.
It's the 3/4 ton.
Free floating axle.
This is actually not a bad, you know, this is actually a pretty cool old truck.
Yeah.
I believe it's a 60 something, 60.
That looks almost
5 maybe, or
that's probably a 4-speed.
Yeah, probably. It's a good old truck though. There's not too much wrong with that one as far as the body and whatnot. You know?
There's definitely not. What do they call that one? They called that the fridge, right?
The fridge.
I think they called those ones the refrigerator Ford.
I wouldn't. I mean, that's. You could see why.
This one's ready to run right here.
Now I tell you what, this is something that you got to get a picture of. We got to get that spider off there. Hang on a second, because this is absolutely 100% some kind of moonshine rum runner right here. I'm guaranteeing you. Bonnie and Clyde could even drove this thing. I've never ever in my day ever seen anything as rigged up as this. But as you can see, they've added their own secondary exhaust system on there, so that they can have dual exhausts on the thing. And just to give them a little bit more, just a little added edge, you know. So that's hot rod.
Interesting.
Right there. That's hot rod from an early aspect. I'm not sure how much that would actually really do for you, and it may actually cause more problems than it's worth, but that's somebody's hot rod idea, and that's what hot rodding's all about.
Man, right? Look at that starter.
Oh yeah, this is just hey, this is old school, man.
Did it turn over still, or do you know?
You know, we fooled with it a little bit, and it actually did turn over at one point in time, but yeah, I don't know if I would have any hopes of actually starting that motor. I mean, as it sits, just the way it is, it's a cool piece. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's the radiator.
It's all, you know, all this shit's all original, which is kind of hard to come by. You know, it is rough and it's rusted out, and that's the thing. But
yeah, panel vans though, they're
labor of love. It's kind of hard
people
to
like
find.
Them. Man, someone was good at sheet metal work. They could really make something out of that thing.
Well, and a lot of people that are into this kind of stuff that want original, you know, yeah, they can copy it or reproduce it, you know. Let's see if I can get this stupid back in here. Why this was off.
No idea.
And then this thing here is kind of like, to the naked eye, wouldn't look much more than probably a third generation Trans Am. But in
mullet machine.
In a certain aspect, this thing is a pretty special car.
Oh.
This is a 1987. It's either 87 or 88. I'm not 100% sure. It's got the Crossfire cross ram injection.
Oh.
It's a Recaro Firebird Trans Am. Which there were only like hundreds of these things made. There weren't thousands, there were hundreds.
Did the 400 in there or no? It didn't look like it from the heads.
No, it's a 350, but it's like what they would have put out in the Corvettes and all that stuff. So
gotcha.
It's pretty unique car. Actually, I don't know. I probably misspoke. I think it's not. I said not hundreds, not thousands, but it was like, I think it was in like the 8,000 range or something, 8,000 to 9,000 of these things put out. I mean, there wasn't very many of them. There were
hatchback with the T-tops.
And if you look, they have actual factory Recaro seats. Those came from the factory.
Oh,
like
yeah.
That. That's why they call them a Recaro Trans Am, because it was a Recaro edition.
It does look good.
So, you know, I mean, it needs. But I mean, look at the headrest. That's custom, man. I mean, that's like
aluminum
cool.
wheels.
That's way cool. So.
Oh yeah, no, the headrest for sure.
And I don't think these were original wheels.
And those T-tops don't look like they're leaking. They're usually leaking so often.
Yeah, they don't look too bad. This thing, other than, you know, putting it back together and giving it a paint job, is really what it needs. You know, some gasket areas and some things that are sun worn and whatnot. But you know, it's in pretty good shape too. So.
And that typical Trans Am fire chicken on the hood.
Right. Exactly.
Now this is a Nova, I know, because I got one of these. Yeah, 79 is mine.
This was Chevrolet's absolute best campaign in Mexico for a car.
Right.
The Nova.
The No-Go?
The Nova. You got to be careful marketing people when you start naming cars, what it actually means in other countries, right?
Right.
Anyway, though.
Yeah, no, we got one of these, four-door.
If you need a stand-in double, if we're going to make Beverly Hills Cop 5, then, you know, we've got his car covered right here.
Did he drive a Nova?
Oh, he had a crappy blue Nova that he drove.
Really?
He sure did.
You know, our Nova made it into that movie they filmed downtown.
Did it really?
Yeah, we got it running just for it.
Edison, or what was it called? Eddington.
Eddington, yeah.
Eddington, there you go. Huh, I'll be down. That's pretty cool.
We got it running just for the movie.
Well, I kept trying to be, I kept trying to get in there, every which way but loose, you know, for an extra part, and I just never could get a part in it. So.
Oh, I kept getting extra parts, but then again, I think it was a lot because I have a YouTube channel. I have a lot of cars in my YouTube channel.
Ah, I gotcha.
So when you got a lot of cars, and they were looking for a lot of cars,
all right,
it's a lot easier.
Right. Well, one of these days I'll get my my baby on the road, which is a '67 Mustang Coupe with 428 Cobra Jet in it.
Now, what mullet machine is this one? This is the Camaro? Yep, Camaro right there.
Mullet machine, I love that. That's great. Yeah, third generation Camaro. 80s to 90s.
Honestly, I like the hard top better than the T-top myself. The T-top looks better, but I like the hard top just for the structural
strength of it would be a lot better with that on it for sure. Yeah, with the T-tops, you ain't got nothing up there at the top.
Oh, it doesn't even have bucket seats.
No. Custom center block seats. It's the way we roll sometimes.
Oh, that hood doesn't feel very healthy. I'm just gonna leave that alone.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's some of them are at will. They're just kind of like some days they open, some days they don't.
Right. Another mullet machine.
Another mullet machine. It's there it goes. It's wanting to.
Whoop.
It's trying. Oh, there you go.
Oh, that bad boy's fuel injected.
Yep.
Multi-port.
The old multi-port. It amazes me how far back they set those motors, though. It's just so funny that it's got such a nose.
That's on it, because it's a V6, right?
Oh, right. 2.8, yeah.
So if it was the V8, it'd probably stick up just a hair more.
Just a little, but it's still pretty far back there. I mean, really, and that you know, that's the famous. Actually, I don't know if that's the famous one or not. You know, where they just basically took a 350 and chopped two cylinders off the back of it. But you know, that's
the 4.8, right?
4.8. Yeah, that's the 5.7 minus 2 cylinders. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got a couple of them 4.8s lying around.
And this guy doesn't look too bad. I don't know what the story on it is either. I don't, you know, from Steve, it's just kind of like, I think he bought some of these things from various people, some of them at auctions, so, you know, you just never know.
I get it. Oh, I like that toggle switch sitting on the floor.
Oh, and you know what? That was the thing with this one. I remember, this has the, oh geez, if I could remember the acronym for it. It's a Chevy anti-theft system.
Oh,
what
yeah.
Is the name of that thing? And it was basically when they came out with a key that had a resistor in the key. And there was about 15 different resistances that they would program the key to the car. And if the CPU, through the ignition system, read that, then it would recognize the key and it would allow the ignition to go ahead and start. The old Ford, it's a good it's a good wood hauler. I'd call it the old wood hauler.
Notch side.
Yeah, fleet side, yep. 72, I think this one is. This one's a little bit newer than mine. This is a 75.
3-pedal edition.
Yep. But she says, "Oh, why did you paint it such a ugly color?"
I'm always afraid of my
Ma'am, it was that way when I just bought the thing, and it's gonna get a restoration, and it's gonna get painted, and it's gonna get painted blue, you know, Acapulco blue. And she goes, "Oh, well, that'll just be so beautiful. It's ugly now, you know." So yeah, you know, a car's ugly when an old lady tells you that. So Cougar XR7, huh? Not too many of those floating around out there anymore.
Yep. No, and it's got good
Come
body
bring your
lines.
friends and their friends and everyone else's friends. Hop in the trunk and we'll all go to the movies for the price of one.
And I like this. I always like these windshields when they're reset like this. Even when they came on like the Stingrays or even the Honda 2000s, I always thought that was a good look.
Right.
The recessed rear window.
We thought this thing actually was a. What did he think? We thought this thing had a 351 Cleveland in it, maybe, or thought it was a special car, you know, or maybe a 429. That's what it was. We thought it was a 429 car, and it ended up being, I think it's a 351 modified, is what's in it.
Oh, Windsor or?
It's a modified, I think, that's in it.
Is that different than the Windsor or the Cleveland?
That's completely different. It was a completely different model.
I didn't even know they had a third one.
I think. I'm not 100%
My
sure.
Maverick's
Maybe
got a 302.
Maybe it turned out being a Windsor car. I'm not sure, but yeah, you gotta love the grille and the styling of this car, though, too. Just looking at it, I mean, just that.
I like the lines. It's got
fins,
nice lines.
You know, the fins on it, and just
the
that
hood
grille,
looks good.
You know, the bumper sucked up in there like that. I mean, this thing just looks like it wants to go like 100 miles an hour. You know, it's just like. It's just a cool looking car. You know, got a lot of cool lines to it.
I think yeah, I know.
Obviously,
I like it.
and the Cougar had.
You got the flared wheel wells. That's nice.
The Cougar had the same kind of like off-take, right? It came from basically from the Mustang.
I think the fuel goes in here.
Possibly. That's only if you can read English.
I wonder if someone dodged that steering wheel.
They should have put Petro on the cap and it would have covered more bases.
Oh, somebody pulled the engine out of this. It must have been the 5.7 Hemi.
It was. As a matter of fact, it's funny you say that because we are putting that in a Challenger over there, a 1970 Challenger.
Oh, that's the 3-pedal Mustang. Or as I like to call them, the fancy Ford Escort.
It is, basically. It's the Pinto. Yeah, fancy Ford Pinto.
I always thought the Escort looked very much like the Fox body.
I tell you what, I will just, you know what? I will, how should I put this, you know? To me, as a kid growing up, I could talk a lot of crap about a lot of different cars, but I just can't say nothing bad about Ford Escorts, man.
They don't die.
They were just the absolute booniest hopping thing you could find. They'd go through the desert. They were just unstoppable.
I dated a girl that had one.
They made some cool ones too. I had an actual.
I think they had an RS at one time or something like that.
Well, I had a GT, which was like
okay.
The
there you
GT
go.
was like had a it had a dual overhead cam, all aluminum, HO like 2.0 motor in it or something like that, or 3.0. I don't remember what size it was, but it just absolutely hauled. You know, it hauled the mail for sure. And it was a sporty little deal. It was a little hatchback and all that, you know. So
yeah, a lot of them were.
I can't say nothing but good things about the Escort. Almost shed a tear when they quit making them.
Buick, LeSabre. This thing looks pretty complete, actually.
A slice of Americana, you know.
I kind of like this Buick, man.
Like
that thing's got
Lincolns,
some straight
you know,
lines.
like the old 50s Lincolns and you know, 50s and 60s Lincolns. The old cars like this had lines, man. They had classic character to them, you know. That's the thing, you know. But something like this, if it's just not going to be a collector item, it's going to be a labor of love to bring it back to life, you know what I mean?
Yeah, most of them.
It's just not economically feasible to stick the money and time into one of them, you know, if you're just not going to... If you didn't have one as a kid or your dad didn't have one and you remember driving around with your dad in it and you had good memories and...
Oh,
you know,
for sure.
That's the type kind of would have to be the thing to fix something like this. You know what I mean? You wouldn't get your money back on the thing at all.
Oh,
you know,
no.
It's not
well,
an investment build at all.
Honestly, I'm this close to YouTube starting to pay me for my stuff.
Oh, really? Wow.
And if I could just get them to pay me to work on my own cars, I'd be happy. If you've been watching this long, you might as well subscribe. Ranchero. I didn't even see that this was a bed on the back till I saw the Ranchero.
I don't know the history on this thing because it's like... There's got to be something going on with it. The Mambo Club. I just don't know what that is, you know, or who this belonged to.
You don't know? Mama loves Mambo. Never mind. Never mind. It was a bad joke. Sorry about that.
Well, Mama loves Mambo. Seriously, I don't know where this car came from or what, but that's got to have something to do with something. I mean, if it could talk, you know what I'm saying?
It looks pretty well straight, though.
Yeah, it is. I think it wouldn't take a whole heck of a lot to get this thing resurrected. It's not really that beat up. The front fender is pretty bad. But
yeah, you got this humdinger right here.
She's not too.
This probably took down a building right here.
You know, when you work on the newer stuff and you work on the older stuff, body working and stuff, it's night and day. You know, they just made stuff so thicker and just they made it out of metal back in the day. You gotta really wail on stuff to like, you know, to reform it on the older stuff. You know, on the newer stuff, you gotta like, you know, you just kind of tink, you know, just tap it lightly and give it a little love tap. And, you know, it's real hard to, it's like the feel between the two is completely different.
People like two doors. I don't get it. I like the 4-doors. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the 2-door, but I like a 4-door.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, I mean, I'm not opposed to either one of them, you know, as far as cars go and all that stuff. I know most of the time, you know, everyone gets the action. As far as collectors, you usually go for 2-door stuff. It's always usually sedans, you know.
Oh, for sure.
But not to say, you know, that a 4-door, you know, couldn't have its place either. You know, there's lots and lots and lots of cool 4-doors out there. So another cool square body here, man.
That is a really good. It's in pretty good shape, actually.
This one's actually just needing some freeze plugs in the back of it, so it's gonna be
Dun 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 bonanza.
It'll be reconciled real soon. Getting back on the road. We'll get her running soon. Separate the tranny and do some freeze plugs in her and get her all done. No problem.
Oh, it's between the tranny and the...
Yeah, it's the rear ones. That's the problem.
That's tricky.
Yeah. It'd already probably have some...
It's a short wide, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are the money ones. As for a 4-wheel drive, I tend to like automatics better than stick.
Yeah.
Because you burn out less clutches that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you're out
that would probably cause some controversy with some people, but...
Well, when you're out rock crawling, I mean, you can be in low gear, granny gear, and just rock crawling, but I mean, if you got the clutch in, you got the clutch out. You got the clutch in, you got the clutch out.
You're going to have a strong left foot.
Well, if you're just crawling, then you're crawling, that's fine, but just you better not hit the gas pedal, you better not, you know, it's just like make up your mind, you're just going to crawl. There is no, you know, stop on a dime like with an automatic. You can just kind of feather everything. You can use 2 feet to kind of brake it and gas it at the same time to crawl. You know, it's you know, where's the styling on the cars nowadays? You know,
right?
Like that, you know.
Right. Oh, the door's open. That's why.
Oh yeah, there you go. Where's the ingenuity on something like that? You know?
On a flathead V8. Oil bath carburetor, 1 barrel.
Yep.
That's original as they come, man.
Yes, sir. I mean that is just that's it right there. And it's all in pretty good shape for the most part too.
Right? It'd probably run.
It probably would. I mean, non-shielded spark plugs. Look at that. You know, you want a good picture of that. That's
right. Going to the magneto.
Right.
F2.
Yep. 1 ton or 3/4 ton, whatever.
No, I think it's a 1 ton. It's got the dually axle on it.
I don't know if that was original or not. Not sure if any of that stuff was original, to be honest, and it's broken, but of course it does look original as far as the shackles are concerned.
Did they already have split rims back then? Did they get rid of the split rims by this time?
No, they would have had split rims back then.
That's what I was thinking. I know my 55 does, but then again, you can still buy tires for it.
I never really actually looked under the hood under this thing, but it's really not very molested at all. That actually looks pretty
No,
good.
it's not. No, it's not. That thing might run.
Actually,
looks like it's got a radiator leak though.
Well, yeah, but that radiator's gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Compared to some of mine. That's gorgeous. That's up down right there. So.
Look at the headlights and everything are still nice. That thing ran not too long ago. There's no way.
I think they broke the axle on it was what happened to it, so it was running, you know. I don't remember what happened, but they broke the axle on that side. Something happened. This thing was a front end collision. We'd actually taken the motor out of it to try and find out if it was any good and usable. We were going to try and use it and put it in his 38 Ford sedan delivery.
Gotcha.
And it turned out it, you know, unfortunately there's physics and inertia and all this other stuff not in your favor when you stop an engine, let's say at 5,000 RPM, and stop it within like a couple seconds. It doesn't do a lot of good to anything. So we started getting into it and found the harmonic balancer cracked, and the hub was cracked, and the crank was probably cracked, and everything was just cracked and just really messed up. So yeah, sports fans, when you recommend to something and they stop real fast, bad things happen. Another square body. Another
Yep,
good
GMC.
candidate for, you know, just a... She's a good old hay hauler or some shit. I don't know.
Oh, it's the 3/4 ton, 4-wheel drive.
Yep.
It's the big
got
boy.
Your worn hubs on it and everything, you know, so.
Heck, I need them axles. If you ever want to swap them out for some half tons, I got you covered. Got a Jimmy that runs,
Oh, really?
but I want to upgrade the axles because it's only got the half ton axles. They're not bad. I just want to upgrade them. You got to do the Chevy tap, dude.
The Fonz? No, that's the Ford tap. I do that on my Ford. Except it's this though. Watch, check it out. When I do my Ford, I go. I did it once like that, dude. I swear to you, swear to God, and it opens up. I do the old Fonz deal, and it goes boonk.
Edel broken air cleaner.
Yeah.
Small block Chevy for sure.
Edelcroc, yeah.
It'll run. It's a small block Chevy. It'll run.
Edelcroc. Yeah, you could throw Wesson in the top of the sun and it'll light up. I'll tell you what. Here's one of the best.
Same power steering pump they still put on them.
If you ever have access to a whole pile of GM parts, right? GM put out, if you're familiar with it, a V8 diesel.
Yes.
That came out in like Cutlasses and
Suburbans.
They came
I know
out
where
in
one's
a lot
running in town.
Okay, well, what you do
That's from a boat right there.
is you take that block, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you throw the excuse my language, you have to edit that part out. Beep.
I got a sensor button.
Okay. Throw those pieces of heads away, right?
Yeah.
On the diesel, right? And screw yourself some aluminum heads on there. It's the same bolt pattern on the head pattern as a 350 Chevy.
Really?
So now you've got a bottom end that could just kill a horse from a diesel. And you've got flat top pistons, and instead of having like 20-to-1 compression, you have like 13-to-1 or 12-to-1 with regular gas heads on it.
So instant power.
Instant junkyard race motor, dude. You want to see the Challenger in the garage?
Yeah, real quick. I'm running out of time.
Yeah, I was
so.
gonna say you're probably running out of
I didn't
time.
even. That's the racing trunk.
This thing is like, it's ready to rock, man.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, this is.
That's aftermarket fiberglass or what?
Yeah, this is drag car here. So.
It's already set up for the dual exhaust, but it's only the 2-inch exhaust, 2.5.
Well, we'll run 3 all the way back probably when we set it up with that thing, whatever it's got.
Oh, that's definitely got the drag tires in the front ready to go.
Well, let's go.
On the universal rims.
And this is another expression, yeah, like, well, your center lines basically, but
Yeah.
they're not really center. I don't think those are center lines, but
I don't think so either.
this is a very special car right here. 67 Barracuda Formula S, Type S. I believe it had a 383 in it? 383 4-barrel car.
Man, this thing's clean too.
And the Formula S package had like more to do with the handling. It had like
Okay.
better handling package. It had more performance on the engine. It just was a styling package, like a total, like a SS type kind of deal in a Chevy. You know what I mean? It was more of a.
Gotcha.
So it's a pretty cool car, and it definitely needs to get built and finished. This is his 36, 38, 36 Ford, I think it is.
Ooh, panel
That's the
van.
one we're looking at doing. We were looking at putting that Mustang motor in here, so he's looking at doing like a 5.0 in it. But you know, we're just kind of up in the air. He didn't want to really do. Want to do something more modern, you know what I mean, as far as.
Coyote?
No, not that modern, but you know, these are actually GTO seats right here. They're in it, but I think something just a fuel injected 5.0 would be just fitting for it, you know. So I think that would be fitting for it. But that's just kind of up to him, whatever he wants to put in it. Here's a gem that you'll probably never see ever again.
Oh, I seen one of these in the back of the truck at the car show, right?
Yeah, that was this one, 362 original miles. That is like mint condition. You couldn't get it on the dealership floor probably like that.
Oh,
there's your Hemi.
Speaking of that 5.7 we talked about
Speaking of
before.
the Hemi, there's the Hemi.
It's even got the real hood scoop. It's not the one with the fake hood scoop.
No, and I'm actually, there's the hood for the car right there, and I'm gonna do the hood. I'm gonna do the shaker hood on it.
Gotcha.
So that it actually, you know, sticks out and does its thing and all that. Oh, that's
Oh,
great.
there you go.
What's that?
The Super B.
Super B, yeah.
I'd like to thank Desert View RV Park in Sierra County for allowing me to do this, and Ben for letting me steal his time. If you've been watching this long, you might as well subscribe. Don't wait for opportunity. Create it.